Hello Year 10. In today's lesson, you're going to be looking at how the economic policies of the Nazis changed the lives of people in Germany. Before you complete the lesson, you need to complete the knowledge quiz using the Google form attached. Pause the video and complete that now. One of the major problems that the Nazis faced when they came into power was the 6 million unemployed people in Germany. They had been elected based on the promises of work and bread. They now had to ensure they met these promises. The Nazis had two ways in which they reduced the level of unemployment. First was by creating jobs. They did this with public work programs. Through public work programs, 2,000 miles of new motorways, or autobahns, were built. They extended the railways and built new canals and bridges. They built schools, hospitals, and houses. This provided jobs for workers, so unemployment was quickly reduced. The motorways were also used as a symbol of success of the Nazi economic policies. They also created the National Labour Service, or RAD. In 1935, it became compulsory for all 19 to 25-year-old men to do 6 months labour service. In 1939, it was extended to women too. Most men worked on public work programs or in agriculture. Work was physically hard, and it often meant living away from home in the barracks. The workers were given food and lodging, but paid very little money. Many young people saw the RAD as little more than slave labour. Life in the RAD was very strict, and the young men were treated as if they were in the army. They also created jobs through rearmament. From 1936, 2/3 of government money went on rearmament. New tanks, aeroplanes, and battleships were ordered. Producing equipment, uniforms, and weapons provided millions of jobs in the factories. Industry grew, particularly iron, steel, and chemicals. The growth in the economy and the increasing size of the army boosted national pride after the humiliation of the Treaty of Versailles. Now, the other way they reduced unemployment was by taking people off of the unemployment numbers. So, for example, women were pressured into giving up work and were not included in the employment statistics. Then, many Jewish people lost their jobs. They were not included on the unemployment registers. Also, conscription was introduced in 1935. All males aged 18 to 25 had to do 2 years military service. This increased the army from 100,000 men to over 1 million men and greatly reduced unemployment. Finally, young people working on the RAD schemes I spoke about a moment ago were not counted as unemployed. For your first task, I would like you to answer this really simple exam question. You should use the information I have just explained to you. I've given you a written version so you can check back over any information that you missed. That is in the PDF labelled Nazi Economics 1. In order to write an effective answer, you need to write a paragraph of about 6 sentences. Your first point will be about how the Nazis created jobs to solve the problem. The second point will be about how they took people off the unemployment numbers. Use the Google Doc titled 4-mark question. Pause the video and complete that now. Now, we need to look into what the impact of these changes were on the population of Germany. You will need to read through the extract from the textbook that is attached with this video. That is the PDF labelled Nazi Economics 2. Once you have done that, complete the table onto the Google Doc. Using the information provided, provide evidence of how each of these different groups benefited and didn't benefit from the Nazi regime. So, for example, big business benefited because the Nazis destroyed the trade unions and companies could keep wages low without having to deal with strikes. This would go into this box here. So pause the video and complete that task now. Okay, well done for completing that. Now you have an understanding of the benefits and drawbacks for each group, you need to come to a conclusion. For these questions, this is entirely your opinion. You need to write a short paragraph for each, so only about 4 or 5 sentences, providing your opinion on which group you think benefited the most and which didn't. Make sure you include your reasons why. Pause the video and complete that now. Okay, great work today, Year 10. This is your last task. You need to bring your learning from today's lesson together and answer the exam question about how the lives of German people were changed by Nazi economic policies. It is important that you write 2 fully developed paragraphs of about 6 sentences. Each one should deal with different groups that you have looked at in the last task. So, for example, you could write 1 paragraph about farmers and 1 paragraph about workers. If you want to make your answer really good, then you could show how they were affected differently. Use the Google Doc, which has sentence starters for you, to answer the question. This is the last task, so complete that now.